So I wanted to talk about ramps and the pyramids. And a lot of the times when people are depicting the building of the pyramids, they show ramps being used. But I don't think it's possible that ramps could be used. And here's why. First of all, what type of ramp are we going to build? We could build a ramp that ramps up to the first level. And then once we get this next level built, we ramp it up to the next level. And once we get this level built, we ramp it up to the next level. But this approach would mean that your ramp, to get a good slope onto it, would have to be so large that its construction would rival that of the pyramid itself. It would have to be so huge and come out so far to be able to have a nice gentle slope to get up to each level. So another approach would be to encircle the pyramid. So you would have a ramp starting here, and then you go up to here on this side of it, and that gets you up to the second level. Then you have a ramp going from there up, and that gets you up to the next level. But the problem with this approach, is that now technically you wouldn't actually go on one side of the pyramid. You go around all four sides of the pyramid, so that your rise would only be a quarter of the way, and you go around the next side, it's a quarter of the way up, next side is a quarter of the way up, and the final way, it's the last quarter of the way up. But for the sake of argument, we can just say that we're talking about going up one side from one level to the next level. With this approach here, the problem is that when we get up to the next level, our rise and run has changed dramatically. From here we had a nice gentle slope to get up to the next height, but when we go to the next level, the slope increases dramatically. It's a much steeper slope, you can see that. And then you go up to the next height and it gets even steeper. If we want to put something on the top of the pyramid, it's even steeper and steeper. So each time it gets steeper and steeper and steeper for each level of the pyramid, making it more and more dangerous the higher you go up. The other option would be, okay, so it gets steeper each time, so just keep it at the same size. Keep it out this far, and with this rise and run going up to this height, of course encircling the pyramid, going all the way around it, but then you keep it out at this edge. But the problem with that is that as you go up each level, you have to somehow get back over to the pyramid. You get up to here, you have to go all this way over to get back over to the pyramid. You get up to here, you have to go all this way to get back over to the pyramid. And you end up creating a structure that, again, would rival the construction of the pyramid itself. It would have to be so tough, and the scaffolding it would be ridiculous in my opinion. So how do you stack the stones on top of each other if you can't use a ramp? Well, that we'll explore in another video. But the basic idea is that instead you would have a bunch of people stacking the stones up on each side of the pyramid. You'd have people all the way around on each side. I'll go into the actual technique of doing it in another video, but for the practical method, you'd have a bunch of different people, each with their own stone, and then they would raise it up to the next level. You'd have someone over here raising up this stone up to this level. You have someone over here raising this stone up to this level, and so on and so forth around each side of the pyramid. This would all be happening at once. Then as you get to a higher level, you run this as a competition. So whoever's the slowest person at raising the block up to the next level, they get eliminated, because there's only going to be so much room on the next level to get the next stone up. So you can see here in this example here, in this particular pyramid, where we have 3 blocks on the second level, by 3 blocks, by 3 blocks, by 3 blocks, by 3 blocks, all the way around the 4 sides. You'd have, say, imagine 3 different people on each side, 3 people or 3 teams of people, and they're all lifting the blocks up and getting them into place. Then whoever does this the fastest, you give them the job of doing the next level up, which in this case is just 1 block. And you just continue this up and up and up as you're doing the pyramid. And this, I think, would update the time estimation people always give for how long it would take, and how it's so ridiculous that it would take so long, that it would take too long to build the pyramids, because you have it working in parallel. You have all these people around each side working at the same time. You don't have one ramp coming up and then everyone working off that one ramp. And also, you don't have perfectly fitted blocks all the way to the core of the pyramid. That's just ridiculous. You would have only the nice fitted blocks on the outside, and then on the inside you would fill it with sand and rubble and other. You wouldn't fill the inside with nicely cut stones. You're never going to see those. That's just a waste of time. And one thing you can imagine is, the people that built the pyramids, they had the same genetic makeup that we do. The exact same genetic makeup, which means that this would lead to the exact same personality types that we have in our society. Which means that you would have the same types of people in the same types of roles in a big construction project. And the contractor's not going to skimp out on the building material, are they? They're not going to go real cheap, are they? Well, of course they are. They're contractors. That's what they do. They're going to cheap out and make it and fill it in so it's not 2.3 million blocks. It's way less than that.